Hi, let's find out the impact of the BIOS settings to DaVinci Resolve video editing software. I use the studio version. Inside the computer I have AMD Ryzen 9950X with liquid cooler, the MSI Mac Core Liquid 360 Air V2. I have two modules of G.Skill Trident Z5 48GB RAM sticks with a speed of 6400 MHz. Then the SSDs is Gen 5 Crucial T700 4GB, 4th generation Penny CS3 140 4GB, and another one which is Gen 3, and the last one here is again Gen 4. The GPU used for these testings here is the MSI GeForce RTX 5070 Ti with 16 GB. The power supply is a Corsair HX 1200. To compare the speed of the BIOS setting, I made 4 different settings. They are, the first one is just reset. Everything on the motherboard is reset. Then the second setting, Precision Boost Overdrive and the Curve Shaper. And I will show you them, the values I set. And I put the RAM to automatic. Then the other setting is exactly the same CPU settings. The blue things here are related to the CPU, while the RAM setting is here the green. And so in the third setting I made a RAM Expo 2. The last one is when I set the RAM with my manual settings. Now here you can see again, CPU is Precision Boost Overdrive and Curve Shaper, while the settings here related to the RAM are the auto setting Expo 2 and RAM manual settings. In the comparisons below you will see this color coding, where blue means the BIOS is reset and yellow means Precision Boost Overdrive, Curve Shaper and RAM manual settings, while gray is with the Expo 2 and this orange here is when the RAM is set to automatic. Now I will show you in a quick tour how my BIOS is set. I took DOCP2, this is same like Expo 2 or XMP 2 or 1, no matter what you will take. It's just like the automatic overclocking of your RAM setting, if your RAM supports something like that. Then the rest I let it like it was, but I put the clock frequency to 2133. With all the rest of my settings, if it won't be stable, you can go down here to 6200 MHz, and here in the clock frequency, then you will have to put 1/3 of it, what is 2033. You can go down and set also the voltage, where you have to say at the SoC voltage, VDD SoC voltage overdrive to 1.27, then the VDD IO override to 1.40010, and the MISC voltage override to 0.95. The rest I let it like it was. My RAM had 1.35 VDD voltage and VDD-Q voltage. If this won't be stable, you can also try 1.4. Then you have to go back to the Precision Boost Overdrive, where you can select Precision Boost Overdrive to enhancement. And here I set the thermal limit to level 1, 90 degrees. Then you can enter the Curve Shaper, where it's relatively easy. Set all the minimum frequencies, first enable them, and then set the value to -30 to all 3 of these values. Then the low frequency, everywhere the same. Enable it and set it to -30 here, here and here. Same thing with the medium frequency. Again, enable it and put it to -30. The high frequency, I would recommend not to go too high, so maybe enable them with a negative value of 18 for all the 3 values. The maximum frequency, you can also enable this one, and I would set it here to -12. Of course, you can try to go higher, but you have to check if your system will be stable. So this is all the setting, then just save that. What I showed you was a setting here with the BIOS 1, PBO and Curve Shaper and RAM to manual settings. If you don't want to risk, you just can set again the Precision Boost Overdrive and the Curve Shaper and choose here only DOCP2 without changing any other value. And the speed I got here in the BIOS 3 setting, here I took the auto modus. This was the BIOS setting, and let's go and see what the impact is to the RAM speed. If you set the BIOS to reset, you will be in the read speed with 62,999 megabit per second, while with the fastest setting you will get a speed of 89,533, and this is a difference of 42%. Now also with the RAM set to export 2 you will get 29%, and with the second setting without changing anything in the RAM you will get at least 9% improvement. Now the write is similar. Here you can get up to 39% speed boost, where you see here it's 96.894 gigabyte per second, and the copy speed will go up to 83,700 megabit per second, what is again 41% of faster RAM. The impact to the latency is also quite big. It's 62% faster. Here the lower score is better. So you see the settings of the BIOS will have a big impact to the speed of your RAM. Let's see what this means for DaVinci Resolve. And here you have the BIOS set to reset. Then without doing anything to my mainboard, I'm getting a score of 13,000. In the overall score, with the settings of the BIOS, I will get about 1,600 points more. In the overall score standard, I will get from 11,860 boost to 13,153. Without setting anything, the megahertz from the RAM will show here 5,600 megahertz, while here it shows 6,400, and this is with the plus, where I have the good tuning. Let's go to the overall score and the cluster. The overall score, here the impact, what we saw before with the absolute values, it's 12% faster in the basic overall score. It is also 11% faster in the standard overall score. It's not a big step forward for the long up score, where you can get maximum 6% with these settings of the RAM, but it's a very big impact to the interframe score, where I get 33% faster interframe score, not all of them, but some, than if I let everything to the reset. And the GPU effect was a little bit special, as here with my RAM settings. Oh wait. Okay. As here with my RAM settings, I'm 1% slower than if you let the BIOS to reset. While the Fusion score will benefit a lot, you can get up to 11% faster. While you see here with the Export 2 setting, you just get 5%. What is also good, but I prefer to set it to the maximum. Then what this means for the file types, here you can see there are some file types where you have absolute no impact of the BIOS settings. Like this, the encoding H264 50 megabits per second in 8-bit, or the HEVC 50 megabits 8-bit. Here you have absolutely no impact. Same thing for 4K H264 150 megabits, 420 8-bit, no impact at all. And also with 4.6K B-RAW, you have no impact. While others will get a big benefit, let's say DNX HR, LB, UHD will get a speed boost of 32% with the best settings and 14% with the Expo set to 2. Similar it is with the DNX HR SQ UHD, where you can get a speed boost of 40%. The 422 10-bit long op will also be nicely always a little bit faster when the RAM is set a little bit faster. Then the ProRes 422 will just depend if you set the RAM speed, while the CPU makes, like it looks here, no difference, the CPU settings. And you will get a boost, a speed boost of 18 or 17% just with the setting of the CPU relevant settings of the BIOS for 4K Red RAW. Let's go forward to see the impact to the GPU effects. I didn't do any changing at the GPU itself, and so you have a lot of effects where you have absolutely no impact. Then some of them will benefit sometimes, and strangely I got 7% slower with my manual settings here for the Color Node X30. What was strange to me. The GPU effects will perform the best with the setting of the RAM to export to, where you can get a benefit depending on what effect you will use from 5, 6 or up to 8% boost. In the Fusion we get a big benefit by my manual RAM settings, up to 14%, 12%, 10%, here only 1%. And the biggest benefit you will get it here in the turbulent particles, where you get 27% faster. So the Fusion will benefit a lot by the better settings here. But also, if you want to be on the safe side, just set RAM to export to, and you will benefit quite a lot. Over here you see the overall. With the export to, you will get 5% average, while it is 11% average with my manual settings. Now, we saw the impact of the settings of the BIOS, and I was wondering, is this more than the impact you will get if you get a new GPU? For that, you see here the comparison between the 4080 Super, the last generation, against the 5070 Ti. To be fair, the 4080 Super has a little bit more, has 14% more CUDA cores. And over here you see the overall score is 14% faster with the newer GPU, while the overall score in standard is 6.9% faster, and the biggest benefit you will get here in the long op score is 31% faster. And I think this has to do with the new encoder or decoder. Here you can see the amount of the CUDA cores, and this is what I said before. The 4080 Super has 14.29% more CUDA cores than the 5070 Ti, but that means to me that the 5080 should perform here in the GPU effects, where it is only a difference of 3%. I would guess it will be 20% faster than this score here if I will use a 5080. And I'm waiting to get my 5080, as well as I'm waiting to get my 5090, and this with over double the amount of CUDA cores should really get a very, very big score here in the GPU effects. And I don't know the impact to the other things, but here we can also see that the 4080 Super has two 8th gen NVIDIA encoders and one 5th gen NVIDIA decoder, while the newer one, the 5070 Ti, has two encoders of the 9th generation and one NVIDIA decoder in the 6th generation. I hope that the decoder here from the 5080, where you get two of them, will bring a benefit, maybe that one file type will be double as fast. And I also hope that the same thing will happen with the 5090, where you get also three 9th gen encoders and two 6th gen decoders. Let's go over to see what this means if we compare the BIOS reset against the same computer, just the difference of the BIOS and the difference of the new GPUs. Like you see here, the one will get overall score 11% faster, while the GPU generation will be 12% faster here. And the overall score in standard will be 10% against 6%. And here we see that GPU effects will have no benefit just because of the setting of the BIOS, while a new GPU will have impact to the GPU effects over here. While the interframe score had a big improvement just because of the BIOS settings, here we saw that the long op score got a big improvement from the generation upgrade from the 4080 Super against the 5070 Ti. Here you see my old graphic card, and here you see, yeah, it's just the BIOS settings. My recommendation would be make both. Make the BIOS settings and an upgrade to a GPU. But if you don't have money, you could really get a big benefit, similar like if you get a new GPU, just by the settings of the BIOS. And I made this video because some friends of me, they when they make a computer or when they buy a computer, they never touch the BIOS settings. They just have the computer like it is. And it is really sad if they do video editing and they don't make any change to the BIOS. It can be 11% impact, where they could be faster, and but they don't do anything. And so I hope that this video will help some of you to get a better experience for video editing. I don't know the impact into other software. I only have DaVinci Resolve Studio. Hope this input will help you also to get a faster system. And hope you will join me in the next videos, where I will compare the 5080 against the 5070 Ti, and when the 5090 will come, I will also compare this one. So thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, and hope to see you next time. Bye!